Hi guys, it's Kristen Stewart
And Angela Couch with Parkside Realty Group.
and your dynamic duo bringing a resource of information. This week's topics is why hire a buyer's agent.
Which is pretty important.
Right. There's a lot of debate. Maybe if you've done it a lot, you kind of know what you're doing and you've done a couple dozen homes or maybe even 20 or so. But with a buyer's agent, they've more than likely been involved in hundreds of transactions depending on where they are in their career. And they're more frequently walking through houses, seeing the new bills, coming across any issues that come up in contracts or sales or inspections. And they'll be able to use that knowledge to help you see the problems, resolve the problems.
Yeah. And I think, you can kind of go, well, a listing agent's going to do the same thing. I know nowadays people are contacting and viewing properties in different ways. If you're going to contact the listing agent, you have to realize that they're going to give their perspective on trying to close a deal. The nice thing about hiring a buyer's agent is it's going to be an outside person who's not so much, they would just want to make sure that they're looking out for your interest. So when you go into a property, let's say from, a different agent's listed and you're going with your buyer's agents more than likely are going to really look over those homes and they're going to see things that you may not notice right away, such as...
Yeah, for instance, we had a buyer that we took to a flip. So it had been remodeled and small things that, is a small house, I think 1,200 square feet, and there's a plug-in in every room. Which is an overwhelming a lot of good smell.
A fragrance plug-in.
Right. Yes. Yeah, those oil plug-ins. The refrigerator, the brand new refrigerator was gorgeous. Didn't fit because it didn't even open all the way.
Yeah. You'll find drawers that won't open. They'll hit appliances.
Right. And the slider had broke while it had been secured and they had put those top locks in. It had obviously been broken into a couple of times because the frame had been bent. And if the lock wasn't in, the door was off kilter. Those sorts of things are the things that your buyer's agent will look for because they look past the pretty.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of builders and a lot of flippers that do things that attract your eye. This fresh paint is the right color. I love this color. It's the in color. The cabinets, the appliances, they'll do those things that definitely attract the attention because that's what they're supposed to do.
They'll hit the lower end costs, your painting exterior, interior, your small patches here and there.
Yep.
But if you have a really good, agent to look out for you, they're gonna look a lot deeper. And of course, you're always in any property you move forward with, whether it's a new construction or a pre-existing, always use an inspector. It's just in your best interest. You may not want to address any of the issues in the end sale of the contract, but at least you have a list of things that you might want to take care of that came up that are all small things, but you'd like to have your own list to punch out to say, okay, now the house is in order the way I'd like it.
Absolutely. Inspections are super, super important. Your buyer's agent will have somebody that they know that will be trustworthy that they can recommend. Maybe they can recommend a couple and you find a company that you like if you don't already have one. And when you do that inspection, your buyer's agent will be able to help you sit down and go, okay, what's important? For Angela and I, when we sit down with buyers or sellers, the important things are always safety is number one. So if it's going to come up as a safety issue, whether the window doesn't stay open or open at all, fire alarms, smoke detectors, wiring, plumbing, any of those things are safety, right? Those are safety and they're going to be a problem whether it's this buyer, the next buyer, or the buyer after that, because all those things will always flag.
Always keep in mind too, when you schedule and book with a buyer's agent, depending on how many properties you're going to try and punch out on a specific day, it takes time to block in all those properties you want to see, as well as calculate in those drive times. And you really want to make sure that you're working with a buyer's agent that really communicates with you as far as the timeline needed. You may only get a specific amount of time in each property, but you might find one that you really liked. You can always reschedule and go back and schedule that one on its own to really spend more time in that, just so that you don't off kilter all the rest of the schedules that are going on through the rest of the day.
Right. And some of these homes are occupied, which means they have to schedule with the homeowners to get that time to come in. So keeping timely
Time blocks.
Yep. And scheduling and working through all of the ones that are potentials is the buyer agent's
Yeah.
job to help you see what's on the market, see
Hmm.
what fits your budget and your requirements to reduce that list down to, okay, these are my contenders. And your buyer's agent can help you narrow down what specifically fits or what specifically
Hmm.
doesn't, so that you can narrow down your list
Yeah.
to one, two, or three and go back and really
Reschedule
narrow
it
it
out.
down.
Another good thing that really helps too is having a printout on all the properties you're saying. Let's say you're going to see 6 properties in one specific day. Having printouts on each property with a pen and writing on the back of that property as you're walking through it things of concerns, things you like, etc. Because then when you go through your notes at the end of the day, all of those properties can kind of mesh together and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
which one was what? So it really kind of helps you to make your time really effective. And then the ones that you really like, you schedule for another day to go and see them one more time. Any of the questions you have on the sheet that you've written can be addressed and asked before you even schedule the next appointment. So it just really helps to make your time as well as everybody else's time involved very effective.
Right.
Yeah.
No matter how many times you think you're going to keep them straight,
Yeah.
we've been doing this for
Yeah.
13
Yeah.
years
Even
and we
when,
still don't keep them
yeah,
straight. So notes are
yes.
important.
Even when we do the feedbacks, we have to base by our notes because we get that as well. So
Right.
it helps on both ends, but it really just makes it much easier for you to kind of, what did we like? What do we not like? And doing a pro and con list on the back of your sheets are just great. They're just good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We hope this helps clarify what you would use your buyer's agent for and why they might be necessary. But if you have questions or other topics, we'd love to hear from you. Let
Yes,
us
we
know.
would. Yes. Yes, we would.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.